What level of protected class are these birds in?
The piping plover is federally protected. The one we have here in the summer is the snowy plover, and that has a listing with the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission. And I'd like to say that I think that our government agencies here mean well, and they're trying to do a good job, and we look forward to working with them to just do some sensible things that can help protect this bird. I got to tell you, up in Massachusetts, they've had some really interesting experiences because the government actually went out and started shooting crows because they viewed the crows as a natural predator, so we've got to go get rid of them. So they
poisoning seagulls.
And then they poisoned the seagulls, and there was such an uproar. The Humane Society and the SPCA actually called Senator Ted Kennedy and asked him to please stop it because they're walking down the beach and seeing seagulls, writhing in agony on the beach, dying a slow death, and Senator Kennedy had to go put a stop to it, and I don't think we want to do things down here like they do up in Massachusetts.
So
frankly.
To protect the plover, they were poisoning seagulls and shooting crows.
Who was looking at them wrong?
Yeah.
And now here, just 2 years ago, they were trying to dredge the pass right there at Deepwater Point, and they had to put off the project because they found a mama plover and her little baby bird, and the Army Corps of Engineers said, can't we just shoo them away? And the answer was no way. That's written into the permit. You can't touch them. So the pass was very dangerous at the time, and it was shoaling up, but they had to delay the project because of two birds.
How did we get to this point? I mean, really, how did we get to the point where we do such absurd things like stop development of property because we find a couple of birds or birds' nests? How did we get here in this country? And why do so many people take it seriously? I mean, I know there are people listening who believe we should stop and slow development because we are hurting certain species. Phone number is 233-9988. But I hear this stuff, and I cannot believe that it's really happening. I can't, Stephanie. I shake my head, and I laugh, but it's not funny to those people like farmers who can't, I've heard the stories out in California 10 or 15 years ago when the spotted owl and the red-legged frog and all these things would stop people from doing things on their own property. But how did we get here? And why do so many people take it seriously?
Well, that story about you can boil a frog if you do it so slowly that he doesn't know that he's being boiled?
Yeah.
Well, that's what's happening to us, I think. And I think it's up to us. This is America. It's up to us to question our government and ask the sensible questions and say, let's put some reality into this. Because if we don't stand up, nobody will.
Yeah, people won't because people are too busy. I mean, you're the exception. You're out there doing the research and talking to people. Mike, good morning. Welcome to the show. You're on with Catherine and Stephanie.
You asked how it got this way?
Yeah, how did we get here?
The answer in 5 words. Liberalism is a mental disorder. That's it.
Was that Michael Savage coined that, didn't he? Is that the name of his book?
So true. Think about it every day, all the things you see going on.
Thanks so much. Appreciate the call. And this particular problem does come from the left. I mean, it is the left in this particular instance who are supporting this kind of nonsense. And,
well, it's funny because the people, when I was growing up, the people who told us to question authority are now the people who tell Bay families with dogs to sit down and be quiet and just let the government tell you what to do. And we're not willing to do that.
That is so interesting.
Well, and we really believe that, the people that are out there at the island, like us, we're the ones who have been the stewards of that island for years. And now, as Stephanie said, we were brought up to question authority. But now we want to work with these officials so that we don't lose our freedom because, quite frankly, if we don't work with the officials to make sure that we can continue to use our public lands, then we're not fighting for the same freedoms that we send troops around the world to fight for. Absolutely. And that would be a shame.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Let's go here to Lance. Lance, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. How are y'all doing today?
Doing well.
I was just going to make a comment about the birds and everything.
Yeah.
I agree somewhat with the last caller about the liberalism thing, but I wouldn't say that is necessarily a bad thing. The bad part about it is that we can't find a happy middle ground, between the people like yourself that say that's just ridiculous, and then the people that would say, oh no, we need to shut down 7 Mile Beach.
Yeah.
A liberal would be compassionate and all those things. I mean, we're supposed to be a nation of Christians here. We should care somewhat about the smaller creatures that are floating around out here. So if we have to, I think I was listening yesterday to the contractors talk about buying 2 acres of, land for the crayfish and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going way beyond the pale, but, I mean, I would like to see us come together and find a way to protect, animals like this bird and, just other animals, without, causing everybody this problem right here where you feel like,
both sides are so entrenched and there's no way to look for a solution. Well, I'll tell you, I am on the other side of the liberals, and there is a sensible solution, I suspect. I'm not the one to deliver it, but I think Stephanie is going to offer a solution that is sort of in the middle. And I know that Stephanie believes in limited government and personal responsibility, but also realizes that in politics you have to look for compromises and solutions. And we're going to talk about those right on the other side. Northwest Florida's FM talk station, Talk Radio 101. We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Dave Anthony. Al-Qaeda isn't as strong as it was on 9/11, but the government says the terror group is getting stronger and stepping up efforts to sneak terrorists into the U.S. Fox News Radio's Rich Johnson has more on new intelligence live from Washington. Rich.
And Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice admits that in some ways Al-Qaeda is stronger, as noted in this report, but she also tells Fox News we've weakened the terror group in other effective ways.
It is not free to use the financial networks that it once did. It's no longer free of the very strict surveillance and efforts at disruption, really, of now a very large coalition of states.
Rice says battling insurgents is a two-part effort these days. Kill or capture the terrorists. Also give the local people the reason to resist the terrorists and finger them for coalition forces. Dave?
Rich, now Iraq.
We are taking